thing that's important for you to know is that the members of the Jewish court, after hearing testimony, this was the tradition, those that were judges and heard the testimony, they were supposed to go home and remain alone and separate from folks. So question is what we say. Yes. And they were supposed to be by themselves for 2 long days thinking about the testimony that they heard. Right. They spent no time thinking about this testimony at all. Nobody went home. Nobody contemplated if he really did anything wrong. They broke every law. Number 5, no Jewish trial, as I forestated, could have been at night. There was 2 at night. The one with Annas was at night, and the one with Caiaphas was at night. So everything that happened in this court of law was all wrong. Are you hearing me? They did it wrong. They did him wrong. He came to bring absolute truth. Well, they scourged him. I want you to go back when you get a moment and study that word. They scourged him. The term in Roman is called verberatio. Verberatio. It means to scourge. Some of y'all have no idea of what Jesus really went through.
Oh, God.
We made a big mistake, elder, because we picked up what other folks said. And we say that Jesus was whipped with a cat o' nine tail. He wasn't. I want to correct that. He was whipped with what they call a flagrum. A flagrum. There's a difference. A cat o' nine tail is this. It is an instrument made of leather with a leather handle, and it has 9 lashes. That's why it's called cat o' nine. It's 9 lashes. Ropes are tied at the end, and British slaves, British masters used it on slaves. When the transatlantic slaves came across the Atlantic Ocean, that's what they were whipped with, cat o' nine. This was worse than a cat o' nine. This was what we call the flagellum or the flagrum. And it was an instrument that was used for brutality. It was what they call a lacerative instrument because it was designed to bring laceration. It was a brutal beating. Brutal beating. And it was worse than what they would do traditionally as beating a stupid animal. There was a tradition that when the animal was stupid, they beat him. You remember the man was riding on the donkey and started kicking him? And they had a history of beating animals that they thought was stupid and that didn't listen and that didn't obey. And they would beat them and scourge them with a flagrum. This was worse. It was debasing, belittling, and demeaning what they did to Jesus. They stripped him totally naked and they tied him to a huge post. Totally naked. They bent his legs downward so he could hang somehow like this. It depended upon the mood of the executioner how you would be beat. If he felt like just whooping you, you would be whipped up to the max according to Jewish law, which was 39 stripes. 39 stripes would pretty much get you where you were about to pass out. 39 stripes. 39 stripes. He had 39 stripes. This flagrum was a very uniquely made instrument. And it had at the tip of it metal balls. It was metal balls. Round, hard metal balls. And also, they specifically, as we did research and got really into this, they used pieces of sheep's bone. They found the sharpest kind of bone imaginable for the time. And they put it all on a whip prepared to whoop somebody of capital punishment. There was a historian of the day. Number 1, we know Josephus as a writer very well. But yet we know Eusebius of Caesarea. He was a great historian, and he eyewitnessed someone being actually scourged. He said, "For they say that the bystanders were struck with amazement," and I quote, "when they saw them lacerate with scourges, even to the innermost veins and arteries, so that the hidden inward parts of the belly, both their bowels and members, were exposed to view." The beating left the victim in unimaginable pain, weak, and extremely bloody. There was blood everywhere. Bloody, blood everywhere. Scientists have said and figured this out. When they were studying Gethsemane and why the sweat of Jesus was as drops of blood, it's because it is a rare condition called hematidrosis. Hematidrosis. And hematidrosis occurs in cases of extreme anxiety that's caused by fear. Jesus had a lot of physical fear as to what was going to happen to him, because he had every idea. Because he is omniscient and knows all, he's seen it. The first time it happened, he's gone. He saw it. He knew exactly what it entailed. He knew exactly what was coming. Hematidrosis began to sit in. This is when there is so much anxiety caused by fear. It manifests in a sweat that contains blood or blood pigments. When the brain fear center is triggered, something in the brain begins to trigger this emotion. And that's where you get fight or flight. It causes profuse sweating, accelerated heart rate. It causes constriction of blood vessels, increased blood pressure. It causes brain and muscle, arm, leg, skin problems, and functions with digestive system. It causes one to vomit and have cramps. If that wasn't enough, they said, let's put some crowns on his head. The crowns, the thorns, were about 3 inches long. You imagine that being stuck in your head? 3 inches long crowns in your head, which caused a ringing sound, scientists said, and it would make you feel as though your eardrums is about to burst after being scourged, whipped, beaten, going through 6 trials, illegal trials, in one day. They broke all laws to condemn Jesus. If that wasn't enough, they had a cross. The estimated weight of the cross was between 175 to 200 pounds. When you are beat with the flagrum, you are so weak. That is why he couldn't carry his own cross. He fell 3 times, and he kept getting up. He was a strong man, strong will, and a strong body. Who could stand that? My wife and I walked down the road where Jesus went before crucifying, Via Dolorosa. That was a long strip. That road is full of rocks and bumps. It feels like a mile. And he's carrying this cross. He's carrying this cross for you, and he's carrying this cross for me. I'm so excited about what Jesus did. And I think today that we ought to show our appreciation to him. I think we ought to show our love for him. And in closing, I just want to say this, that this is the news that we've been waiting for. Because after experiencing all that, you can't help but to be traumatized. And so now you see why the disciples went home. They went home to cry. They went home because they felt bad. They went home because they were helpless and they could not help Jesus. There are folks now that can help him but won't. He wants us to help him win souls. He wants us to help him advance the kingdom. But they couldn't help him although they wanted to help him. But oh, one day here comes some news. Hallelujah. I want to tell you something, that God's got some news for you today. And this is the news that's going to change your life. Mary came back to where they were weeping and crying. And Mary said, I got some good news for you. Yes. Could imagine the room was filled with sorrow. Here comes Mary. And Mary says, I just left the tomb. And guess what? Jesus is no longer there. All of a sudden, the atmosphere has completely changed. Have you ever had news that would change your life and change your situation? Mary said, not only is Jesus gone, but I saw the linen cloth laid where Jesus was. There was an angel by his head. There was an angel by his feet. She's testifying and telling the disciples what had just happened. All of a sudden, their mood has changed. that had not went to the sepulchre while they were all together. Hallelujah. Most of them were there the first time. They got the news. Came from Mary. Second time. They got the news. It came from Jesus himself. Wow. Wow. They were in a room. Jesus walked through the wall and came right in. They were so excited. Jesus said, tell the rest of them. And he went back to the same wall he came through.